Hi, how's everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7, out and about with another view from the van and looking back on yesterday's yesterday's point from down Selhurst Park. You know, it's disappointing. I think it was a winnable match yesterday, I really do, but look, Graeme Jones has come in. He's had 3 days to work with these players, and you know, he made changes to the personnel, he made changes to the system, and he did what, you know, is the standard practice, I think, for most sides when they go away from home. Look, if you can't win, make sure you get a point, and a point he did, and it sort of stopped the rot and everything, so good from that perspective. But yeah, finished down to Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace won, Newcastle United won, and yeah, we'll start from the beginning. It's normally the best place too. And yeah, the team news came out 2 o'clock yesterday for an old-fashioned 3 o'clock kick-off, and I must admit, when the team sheet came through, I was a little bit like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? I'm going back, I'm listening to Graeme Jones talking about I'll be picking players who have produced and trained well in the couple of days since Wednesday morning when he was asked to take over on an interim basis. And I'm sitting there thinking, look, he's a local lad, he gets it, he gets the position. We've got to back him. As much head scratching as seeing Emil Kraft in a back three, Kieran Clark, Jamal Lascelles still maintaining the place for the three centre backs. You're looking at Matt Ritchie keeping his place, Manquillo keeping his place. You're looking at the two in central midfield. You're looking at Joe Willock being dropped. Joe Linton, I think most people were probably pretty pleased to see him dropped and replaced. Ryan Fraser coming into the team, and you're like, look, we've got to trust this guy that these have trained well, and this is a system that's going to produce results. And look, first half, I think we had something like 28-29% possession. It wasn't pretty on the eye going forward, not at all. But defensively we looked quite solid, but let's make no bones about it. I think if Benteke had some shooting boots on, then we could have really been punished, to be honest. And I think, with no disrespect, I think this is why, and this is what stops Benteke going on to that next level of striker. You know, he can boss players, he can do lots of the things that a striker needs to do, but he needs umpteen chances. He will fluff the lines occasionally, and that he did, thankfully, against Newcastle. But to be honest, you know, things had to change in the second half, and I think they did improve. But obviously Crystal Palace, they go ahead, and it's a pretty bad goal, to be fair. I know what Graeme Jones has come out and said, we did restrict them, and I get the fact, look, we've been far too soft at the back over the last couple of games, so I get that tightening up is probably a good place to start when you've only got a couple of days to go at it before a difficult game. But chuff me, man, the ball it comes in across again, our Achilles heel all bastard season, and then Benteke in the middle bullying our centre backs, and it doesn't look good. It's a goal that it should be able to be avoided. That's the frustrating side of it. It wasn't. Crystal Palace take the lead, and at that point you're fearing the worst. So to come back into it as we did and get a point, it's definitely a point gained, I think, in the big scheme of things at the moment. But yeah, Richie involved, as he is quite a lot, to be fair. I know he's not great defensively, but he has done some stuff going forward this season if you look at the stats and stuff. But yeah, the cross comes in basically, and you're thinking, no. But yeah, Callum Wilson had different ideas about that, and you've got to think now that has to be one of his very best Newcastle United goals, possibly one of the best goals he's ever scored. And I hope Southgate was watching. Well, I hope he is, and I hope he isn't, to be honest, because the audacity to do that on the football pitch, the skill to do that on a football pitch, and out of nothing, absolutely bam, there you go, you bastard, into the back of the net. ones apiece. The away end going absolutely fucking wild. It's not the best away end, to be honest. I've been down there myself watching Newcastle. You're stuck away in a corner. It's not the best. It's not ideal, but goodness me, they made some bloody noise. They went mental for the goal, and Newcastle restored parity like in the match. You're then looking, Graeme Jones not scared to change things up. Joe Willock had been dropped. Surprise, surprise, with Bruce in charge, mind, and sit down before you listen to this, but Joe Willock playing with the aid of painkilling injections. He's been starting week in, week out because of his issue with his foot. So look, Graeme Jones said, look, he didn't have a pre-season. I just think he needed to be taken out. He's available as an option. So he did that. He brought him on today in the game. He brought Miggy on as well, who obviously he went away international football, missed the Spurs game. He made good substitutions, I think, at the right time. After we scored, I think we had our best period of the game, and you're thinking maybe we can nick this 2-1. That was my thoughts before the game, to be fair, Newcastle to nick it 2-1, but it wasn't to be. Obviously there's got to be a little bit of drama. It involves Newcastle, of course, and I'm not talking about the banner that was unfolded that's being investigated by the police at the moment, but yeah, there was a VAR incident right at the end, and you're sitting there thinking, oh, we're going to get shafted again, but no, for once fucking VAR comes to our rescue. I think it's the right call, to be honest, in the scheme of things, and trying to put a fair and balanced view on it. I do think it was the right call. The game finishes 1-1. Again, there was little niggles to be able to try and win it in stoppage time and stuff like that. But alas, I think a point, yeah, you take it. It's a point gained, and now we've got an absolutely fucking huge fixture against Chelsea, who absolutely smashed Norwich 7-0 over the weekend and stuff as well. It's going to be a really difficult game, but look, Graeme Jones spoke tremendously well, positively, speaking to people, using their names and not grinding and not being salty and stuff against folk. Before the match, he was just the same. Afterwards, spoke very, very well, talked about some good performances, and he said, look, I'm not saying it'll be the same formation and same personnel next week, because I will judge it on how they train, the tactics that we need to try and get something out of the game, and I will also take into account anything that the ownership says with regards to the manager search, which I'll get onto in a minute. But again, Graeme Jones spoke fantastically well. I thought there was some good performances today. I thought defensively we were all right. I still would like to see changes in the defence, though, as I've said quite a few times. I thought Emil Kraft, to be fair to him, he came in and he looked decent there. Probably had a point to prove as well, you feel. There's other players who didn't play so well, and you're looking at your Ryan Fraser's given a big opportunity, didn't really take it. And so on and so forth. The central midfield is still a huge area of concern for me. It's something that needs addressing as soon as possible, as early as possible in January as we can. But we've got to mend and make do with what we've got at the moment. We get the point. Doesn't really do much for us, but it's not a loss, and it's that accumulation of points. There's an old chestnut for you. But yeah, ones apiece. Plenty of talk after the match about the banner that came out. We're going to expect this. It's saltiness, because the thing is, you see later on in the day, Saudi Arabian sponsorship at Brighton. You're looking at the Grand Prix, F1, and again, all of the Saudi Arabian stuff that's on their Armaco and stuff like that. It's all coming out now. I think no matter which away grounds that we go to, we're going to get a lot of this chance, and yeah, and it's like, it would be fair enough if it was aimed at everything that they involved in, and they're involved in so much in the modern world, but it's not. It just seems extra highlighted when it's Newcastle United, and yeah, I don't know, is it jealousy from other fans and stuff like that? it certainly comes on, it comes across that way. It comes across that way that it's jealousy about the investment and the money and the possibilities, for Newcastle. It's a whole different debate. It's probably something we're going to get into more on the podcast, which will return this Thursday. Remember, it's new home now every Thursday on Magpie 24/7. That's our weekly podcast, so we'll discuss that in more detail there. As for Newcastle, we take a point and we move on. And, for the Chelsea game, we might have a few more players back. Paul Dummett, who I think could definitely do us a job at the moment. He can't be very far away from being involved. You've also got Martin Dubravka, who has been out on the grass a bit now. So, no doubt, eyes will be on Martin Dubravka for this week in training. And then they need to make a call on formation and a call on personnel involved. But, yeah, I touched on it a bit beforehand, just on the review. I just think as well, before the next game at St James's Park, I think the powers that be, who were, again, they were present at Selhurst Park, which is nice to see. They were present on social media, communicating, talking to the fans, which again is fantastic to see after 14 years of absolutely fucking nothing. But we need a decision and some stability on the managerial situation over the next week. Now, that's not saying he starts next weekend against Chelsea or whatnot. If he's in the stadium, in the stands, having a watch and brief before taking over on the following Monday morning or whatever, then yeah, absolutely fine with that. But I just think the players, the fans, and everything, and our Premier League survival chances need clarity and certainty at the moment. And I'm seeing lots of names floated about, Fonseca being the bookies' favourite, and the name on a lot of fans' lips. I'm talking about attacking football, the football for purpose, and getting possession-based football, which is something we're just not used to for so long at St James's Park. But yeah, whatever it is, whether it's Overmars and somebody coming over from Ajax, whether it's Fonseca, whether it's Eddie Howe, whoever they decide that the best candidate for the role, and remember, these people with the money that's behind them want as best in possible class for where we are at the moment as possible. So whoever that is, if it is Fonseca, let's get him in, let's get him watching the game, let's get him learning about the strengths and weaknesses of the current playing squad. And the players, again, you might get an extra few percent if they know that the manager in waiting is up in the stands, eyes are upon them, and we're going to need every small advantage we can get, taking on a fantastic squad and a fantastic team that's been assembled. It's got to be favourites to win the Premier League this season in Chelsea. So any small advantage we can get in this build-up will be great. No doubt Graeme Jones will do a fantastic interim job in the meantime. He will speak to the players concisely. He will get a tactical plan going, which you could see more yesterday than what we've seen in such a long time. It was a relief. There was a sense of freshness and positivity in the air with no Steve Bruce down there. The Newcastle fans singing about Brucey on the dole and stuff as well. Geordie boys taking the piss. It's great on an away day, taking the piss and the banter and the feel and stuff like that. And with Ashley gone, with Bruce gone, there is such a weight lifted from Newcastle United fans' shoulders, and it's just joyous. I've watched the match back, I think twice now. Yeah, twice. And there's little green shoots of recovery. We've stopped the rot, but still remain absolutely balls deep in danger. We've got an horrendous run coming up around Christmas and the festive period into the new year and stuff like that. So, we need to pick up a win sooner rather than later. We really, really do. But yeah, it wasn't to be yesterday. It wasn't to be. So, like I said, we'll discuss it more in detail, including the banner and all of the political shit that surrounds our football club at the moment, on the Magpie 24/7 podcast, which allows us to go into a little bit more detail on everything at Newcastle United this Thursday. But look, a point gained, another point towards the 40-point salvation mark, hopefully, and then brighter times ahead. But no Bruce, no Ashley, a positive and committed and dedicated man in the hot seat for the time being, until hopefully somebody new is announced in due course over the next week. It's got to be over the next week, in my opinion. It really has to. We can't afford to keep it running on for another week or 2 or 3 weeks. We need a little bit of decisiveness, and this is the man we're going to get behind. This is the direction we're going. This is the style of football and the approach that we're going to take, and then we can start making plans and fixing the wrongs of the previous decade of abuse at the football club, and start to right all of these wrongs that have gone on at the football club for far too long. But nice to see Newcastle fans with smiling faces. Get used to the saltiness from all of the teams we start to play. We'll have to keep a little bit of note on some of the clubs who are really pushing the button with regards to the saltiness. And you're looking at Middlesbrough, you're looking at Crystal Palace. We'll have to keep a little running total of these teams and what they're like and stuff. But in the meantime, like, comment and subscribe to Magpie 24/7. Thank you for your continued support on all of the social media. Things have been going really well from myself and Kyle on Magpie 24/7. Kyle isn't very well at the moment, so sending out positive vibes to Kyle at the moment, but I'm sure that some of what you saw yesterday, and certainly that absolute beauty of a goal scored by Callum Wilson, obviously one of his favourite players, will make him feel a damn sight better. Newcastle, in the end, I think we deserved something out of it. We got something out of it. It's a point. Onwards and upwards. Chelsea next. Bring them on. Anyway, in the meantime, take care. Keep it tuned, and I'll speak to you later.